when last we wandered these myriad plains. Ingress, calm down. I found someone who can take you back to your home plane.
Ingress falls silent. I want to go. I want to leave this place.
His name is Candrian. He should be along shortly to help you. Trust him, all right? And still, we journey on.
All right. So I took a bit of a break. Had to save and exit that conversation. We'll get back into that in a second. I remembered that talking to O, there should have been a way that we could have gotten +1 wisdom. And as I checked my stats, we did not get it. So I must have done something wrong there. And I would like to rectify that. Then we'll come back and finish our conversation with Candrian. See if we can't get that. I want all the stat boosts I can get. Okay.
Tell me about yourself.
Okay.
And what are you? So, what does that mean?
Okay. I think this is what we're supposed to do.
Then, that means you know all the secrets of existence, doesn't it?
Okay. He says he knows parts of them. I think I chose the wrong answer here, that you know nothing. I think that the correct one to get the boost is...
So, you don't know the secrets of existence.
I did not say that. A letter is still a powerful force, even on its own. Allow me to show you. He opens his mouth wider, and wider still. The mask of his face tears around his eyes, mouth, and nose, revealing that hint of eternity you glimpsed earlier. You are lost in it, adrift in it, a part of it. You return to your mundane senses and realize that O has vanished. Yet somehow, your horizons have been expanded. Enlightenment has brushed you, however briefly, across the brow.
That was indescribable.
Aha! There's our wisdom bonus. Nice. Do a quick save here. And continue our conversation with Candrian. That little point of wisdom will give us more experience as we go as well. Once again, you are struck by the insubstantial nature of this man's existence. And once again, you are riveted as he turns his pale blue eyes on you. Have your travels brought forth what you need?
Not yet. I had some questions for you.
Perhaps I have the answers for you. Speak, and I shall tell you.
What are you doing?
I am fresh back from negation, and am trying to restore my essence before it slips away from me altogether.
Negation? What do you mean?
His eyes cloud over. I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. I made the mistake of visiting the negative material plane in order to understand my body's urge to decay and the cycle of death in life. I thought myself protected against the ill effects of the plane with my magic, but I was wrong. The blackness of infinite nothing pressed on my soul, and I was beset by shadows that sought to snuff out my very soul. I lost my way for a time, for an eternity, and nearly lost my existence. I could feel my essence falling away from me, and am even now half gone. Never will I return.
How did you survive?
Updated my journal.
How did I survive? He smiles tightly, with a piece of nothing that held back the nothing. Nothing can stop nothing, you know. And so I carried nothing in my hand to protect me. Do you plan to journey to the ultimate negation yourself? You have the smell of desperation about you, and so I make you this gift. Hold it in your hand when the shadows press in, and it should protect you and your friends somewhat, should they remain close to you. He passes you a small black token that looks as if it has no dimensionality to it at all. Thanks. Tell me more of the planes. Tell me of the outer planes. Now, the outer planes. Where should I start? Do you know the cardinal rules of the planes, on which all other rules are based? Do you know about the composition of the outer planes? Do you know of the Great Ring and its divisions in our hearts? Do you know of the individual planes? Each of these leads to the next, and so it is best to start from the beginning. Okay. Tell me of the composition of the planes. And we have already seen this. Go on. Yes. Go on. Yes, we've seen this. Okay, here we go. Tell us about the upper planes. Of the upper planes, there are the neutral planes, the lawful planes, and the chaotic planes. What would you know? The neutral planes. The neutral upper planes contain the beastlands, a place of neutrality and goodness, with a slight tinge of chaos, where the animals rule in the eternal noon and night. They hold Bitopia, twin paradise of industry and labor, where all work toward the good of all, and Elysium, the sweetest plane of goodness and calm I have ever come across. Alas, right now I am not well enough to enjoy any of their restorative effects. What would you hear of now? Tell me of the rest of the upper planes. The lawful planes. Kendrian gives a small shudder. I am not the best person to speak of the planes of law, he says, for the innate structure and ultimate patterns they impose frighten me. I steer clear of them because I value my individuality more than I value the knowledge they'll bring me. They include regimented Arcadia, nearest of the good planes to the unbending order of Mechanus, and Mount Celestia, home of the Archons, an island in the Silver Sea. Well, tell me of the rest. The chaotic planes. These are where I feel at home, though I steer clear of Easgard. For the most part, the endless battles and tests of metal among the floating earthbergs of the plain don't do much for my disposition. Arborea, though, the mountains are taller, the air clearer, the rivers purer, and the game larger than anywhere else. It is a true paradise, a place where passions run high, and the wine never ceases to flow. When I have recovered enough of my wits and myself, when we have done the outer planes, you should ask me of the inner, and I will describe my journey to you. I will return to Arborea's bowers and glades, and lose myself for a time. All right. Tell me more of the planes of the Great Ring. Well, let's look at the upper planes again. Maybe I did not choose all of those. I think I did, though. Okay. Yeah, let's ask about the Great Ring, I suppose. And we'll ask about the lower planes. There are two boundary planes to my mind, and they are diametrically opposed. One of them, Mechanus, is the very essence of law, a place where beliefs fit together, interlocking, turning, in a massive machine that is the entire plane. Some folks would have it that the gears of Mechanus are the engine that drives the planes. The other plane is Limbo, a swirling morass of chaos that follows no rules, none, and just when a body thinks he's classified its behavior, it goes and changes on him. Or it doesn't. You just can't tell. I was in Limbo not too long ago. Tell me of your journey. Oh, hit the wrong one. Let's go back. Got the mic kind of blocking my keyboard here, and it's a bit difficult to see the numbers. He closes his eyes, remembering. I had a Githzerai guide with me, an anarch who could shape the illogical matter of the plane into forms of his desire. We had fought off the harrying of the Slotty, the chaos creatures who call that plane home. It seemed there were more than usual, but then one can never tell what's usual in Limbo. But I digress. In the midst of all this chaos, we came across a series of huge metal interlocking cubes, like some sort of puzzle box. It wasn't something we had shaped, consciously or not, and we couldn't find a way inside. It was like a bastion of order within the confines of disorder, a seat of law. That is the best I can explain it. Tell me more of the planes of the Great Ring.
Updated my journal.
Tell me of the lower planes.
Like the upper planes, the lower planes are divided into lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Each of them varies in terms of horrors and what those horrors do to a traveler's spirit, and all of them are best avoided. Which of them would you like to hear of? Let's just go in order, shall we?
The neutral planes.
The neutral planes, eh? They're vile and barely understandable, and they're more insidious on their own than you could ever imagine. Take Gehenna, for example. 4 volcanoes in stages of dormancy, floating in an infinite void, each of them somehow alive, and each of them wanting your soul by whatever means they can get it. Populate it with Yugoloths, the worst of the fiends in my opinion, and you've got the place. The plane of ultimate evil, at least that's what they call it, is the Grey Waste, a no place that drains color from your body and spirit, stealing away even your apathy. And it's the site of the worst battlegrounds in the war down there. Don't get me started. Then you've got the Kasserai on the chaotic side. Tell me about the war. Aye, the Blood War. At the name, your blood feels as if it freezes in your veins. Illborn doesn't seem to notice, wrapped up as he is in his memories. 2 armies of fiends smashing together pointlessly across the lower planes, slaughtering mindlessly in the name of law and chaos. They'll aggrandize it, of course, but in the end, it's all about hate and stupid endeavor that aids none and harms far too many.
Tell me about the Kasserai.
Ah, Kasserai and its poisonous jungles, acid swamps, destructive waters, strung like a string of rotten pearls nestled within one another. He pauses and looks at you carefully, again fixing you in place with his eyes. Remember this, Seeker. Kasserai is a prison, home to the garrulous, one of the most dangerous types of fiends there is. The strength of the prison is the strength of the captor, as strong as the prisoner lets it be. Destroy the prison keeper, and a body can escape the red prison. There is almost no other way out, not when the gates close themselves against you and watch you spin off into the vast space surrounding the orbs. Be wary of Kasserai, traveler, for its bonds can be greater than flesh.
Tell me of the rest of the lower planes.
Updated my journal.
Like the upper planes, the lower planes are divided... Yes, you've said this. So tell me about the lawful planes. As much as I detest the order of the lawful upper planes, at least they present a modicum of goodness. Their lower planar counterparts, though. Archeron's a place of ricocheting cubes that never see an end to battle, swarming with the souls of dead humanoids. Bator. He shivers involuntarily. Bator is a place best avoided. Those Batsu, the fiends in the corner there, are but the merest expression of the deviant corruption embodied in that soulless machine of order. If you want more, talk to them. But remember, all that is bad about bureaucracy and order originates from Bator, and it spreads like a stain across the hearts of mortals. Though there is some knowledge to be found there, it is rarely worth the spiritual rape the plane inflicts. Is there anything more about the lower planes?
Yes. Tell me of the chaotic planes.
The Abyss isn't some place you should consider going. Where Bator's all orderly, the Abyss is full of chaos and change. And none of it's pleasant. When it becomes something that approximates normality, that's when you should be most wary of it. It's a home to the Tanari, what most primes call demons, and they've got that name for a reason. They are unpredictable and murderous, and the few you can trust are few and far between. The few I have met who I'd trust, I still don't trust entirely. They are creatures of chaos and evil incarnate, and if they're putting on a friendly face, who's to say it's not part of a larger agenda?
Tell me more of the planes of the Great Ring.
Let's see. Tell me of the Outlands. The Outlands are absolute neutrality. Probably the best place for a body to visit in the Outer Planes, outside of Sigil, if you don't want to have a plane's morality forced into your heart. Everything balances out in the Outlands, as it should be for the plane that sits at the center of the Outer Planes. Power's realms are scattered about here, and there are handfuls of gate towns that open into the rest of the Outer Planes. The gate towns usually mirror the philosophy of the plane their gates open onto, and if the balance of belief isn't kept in the town slips into the nearby plane. It's a bad situation for everyone, because few of the folks in the town really want that change. But enough of the Outlands. What more would you know?
Tell me more about the planes of the Great Ring.
Okay, so that's all of that. So we go back a few steps. Okay, let's ask about the inner planes. He sighs, as if this reminded him of his bone-deep weariness. Think of the inner planes as a globe. On the top pole, you have the positive material plane. On the bottom, you have the negative material. He pauses. Remind me to tell you of the negative. His eyes turn inward to some private horror. Well, I'd imagine so. He had a horrible, horrible time there. From the interaction between the two springs, all of the urge for existence and non-existence, life and death, actuality and nothing. From them spring the basic elemental planes like fire, water, air, and earth. The para-elemental planes that lie between the four basic elements, and the quasi-elemental planes that come from the interaction of the four elements with the positive and negative. Well then, since you keep hinting at it, tell me of the negative material plane. His eyes cloud over. I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. Yes, you told me about this. Cycle. Thought to snuff out, yep. Alright, well tell me of the other planes then. Yeah, you told me how you survived. So can we learn nothing more about the inner planes? The rest of the planes. Okay, no, that's it. Tell me of the prime material. You want to know of the prime? Visit it. The boundless worlds of that plane have an infinite variety, as do the planes, but I cannot encapsulate them as I have here. Suffice it to say that they are the birth of the outer planes, the children of the inner, and they hold limitless potential within their boundaries. Okay, so the prime material plane in this lore is where we in real life would live. And this game we're playing takes place in one of the outer planes, Sigil. That's pretty neat. Let's see if there's anything more that we can glean. Okay, let's ask him about the journal and fraud. I have seen no journals lately, but for my own, and that has crumbled away into nothingness. My apologies. No matter. I had some other questions. Do you know a collector named Farad? Farad grew up to be a collector. How long ago was this? When I set out last, he was but an officious stripling in one of the upper wards. Time does change some people. No, Seeker. I don't know Farad anymore. I'm willing to bet. All right. Well, that is that. Thank you for all the excellent lore, Candrian. I very much enjoyed learning all that again. I had forgotten the vast majority